All right, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. If I could, it is Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. Today is December the 2nd, 2020. If you can see and hear, please give me a yes in the room. All right, awesome. Let's go ahead and get started. First things first, we're going to look at the ES futures just like always. And this kind of going to be our guide for the day, okay? So, first things first, where are we between the opposing zones? We're kind of in the middle. And when we're in the middle, we say don't diddle in the middle, right? So you're going to see here that last night price came into the trendy edge. We can't make this up. This is part of your blueprint. And when price leaves the trendy edge, we look for price to typically come back. See, when we first broke this level, notice that price did not come back to this level, right? And so as we move up, we get into and pretty darn close to our top target there at 36.78 yesterday. And then we pull back, right? And where do we pull back? We pull right back into the trendy edge, and you can see there right to the tick, okay? And we find bids there, and then as we go into numbers, we see ourselves coming back close to the trendy edge. So what's going on here is we're making a higher low, but lower highs in an up range, but immediately a down range. Let me show you just to kind of make this easy for you. If you like Fibonacci's, if I were you, I would draw your Fibonacci from this pivot point here and here. And as long as price is holding about 40%, which might be right around this trendy edge here, then the bulls are in charge on the intraday. Now, the bigger level, obviously, is if we were to go to a weekly, okay? But as of right now, far as today is concerned, as long as we can stay above the trendy edge here at 36.42 and a half, things are looking pretty good as far as right now. Now on a 30-minute, notice that we are underneath the 9 EMA, and if we go back and we test this previous low, it's very important. A lot of technical traders will be sitting and waiting for this, okay? So once the market pulls back, and if it were to break, a lot of people hop on right here. And I need you to focus on this EMA. If the EMA is stretched at quite a far distance from the candle, typically what will happen is price will come right back up and perhaps come back and test that EMA just to flush traders out. Now, if for some reason we don't have that type of move, what I would be looking for under this level, again, is a retest of the level. Okay, so it's going to come back, it's going to retest, and what was support turns into resistance. Okay, now how are we going to verify that? Well, it's going to come up, it's going to reject, and we're going to make lower lows. Stops go in, and I'm looking for a push down into the higher time frame trendy edge at around 36.20 to 36.16 today. All right. Now, for supply and demand traders, if you look down and to the left, you can see that we do have some buying pressure here. So it may be that we turn right before this green box today. All right, so right in this area here. Okay. All right, so that's our blueprint for today. Overall, my sentiment, let me make this very clear. I'm extremely bullish on the longer term. Shorter term, I'm just talking about today, is going to be down to sideways unless the bulls can get above 36.60 and 3/4. So let's just call it 3661. So at home, I'd be setting my alert right above this line in the sand, and I would be setting alert down here at the trendy edge around 3620. That gives us about 40 points of play today, up or down. Okay, set those alerts, enjoy your day, nothing to do. It's all noise between here. Scalp traders, just looking at the levels to scalp off of using the 9 EMA on your point of reference as far as time frame is concerned. Okay, anybody have questions about ES before we go ahead and move on? And if you guys are checking me out on Periscope, it's pretty cool. If you guys notice, we changed the layout. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate you. If you look up there, it's really neat because now right at the top of Periscope, you can see my focus trades. Okay. And so not only can you see the focus trades, these are also trades that I'm currently in. And I can change that for you, and we can look at my positions and so forth. So I'll be kind of running those throughout the day, and I'll actually put it on the screen here. I never quite thought about it, but it's going to work out quite well. All right. All right, let's go ahead and move on. We're going to come over here into a couple of these that I really want to show you as far as the broad market blueprints are concerned. All right, so far as today, I want to concentrate on the 4H candle. That's the 4 hour. This is your blueprint. This is the neutral, 364.27 by 360 and a half. Notice that we pushed up into my first target. We rejected this target at 366.54. We could not hold this on the 4H. We then came back into the trendy edge or the neutral. We pushed up, and this morning we find ourselves right at the 9 EMA. So far as today is concerned on SPY, our short-term support here is 363. Write these down, please, or set alerts. 363.13. And then I would set an alert to the upside at 366.54. Let's go ahead and do that together. Thinkorswim, go ahead and right click here, create alert at or above. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and put one right here around the trendy edge right before it. So create alert, big thing here, at or below, not at or above. Create there. And then we have two reference points here. Basically, let me just kind of give you an intro of my life. I go out here and sit on the dock and hang out on the water when price is just between these levels. There's not much to do. Unfortunately, a lot of speculation happens in these levels and people start to get worried and so forth, and they do irrational things. What I want to do is just kind of hang out. And if one of these trip, then I want to come back into the chart. I'll come back, kind of wait for formations to happen over these levels, and then I'll be looking to trade to the upside and so forth. Okay. To the downside, I'm not too concerned unless we start to break below 363 and a quarter. All right. That's a SPY. Targets to the upside, if we could break 366 and a half, look at yesterday's high. Above that, looking for 370. And if we take out the trendy edge, I would be looking for price to move into this wick at 361.92 and possibly into 360 and a half. That's SPY. Let's go ahead and look at the Qs. All right, so here's Qs. We'll make this simple as well. 4H candle, you can see that we came into the blue dotted line. That was the previous all-time high. We could not create, notice this on the 4 hour, we could not create an inside and up here. We actually went down. We're currently underneath the 9 EMA, so we're breaking trend as of right now, but the 4H, you have to wait for this candle to close. So let's talk about support and resistance. Your resistance, I'm going to go ahead and create an alert roughly here at or above 303.88. Okay, and then down here, as far as support is concerned, I'm going to put it right around this 300.27. That's right before the neutral. Okay, so create alert at or below, and just like that. And the same goes for QQQ. Anything between those alerts, I don't want to do anything. Okay. And the reason why I say that, just so that I can be very clear, I should reference, I'm talking about longer positions. So if you got longer dated, you found yourself in some swings and so forth, these are the areas that for me, I just want to relax and not be too concerned about. All right. Now, if we're talking weeks out, I'm not concerned about, the weekly trend unless we start to break some major levels. These are not the major levels. These are intraday levels for right now. Okay. All right, so QQQ again, if we do break down, look for support to come in at or around this 298.80. Resistance, if we can get above this 303.88, 303.90, look for it to move into highs of yesterday and above that 307. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get into UNH. I didn't put this one on my Twitter post, but this one, they have a little bit of an upgrade. This is what we call an AC/DC setup. Let me go ahead and read the notes here and make it very plain and simple. My scanner, it's an AC/DC setup, and it's an upgrade today. Overall trend is neutral. So that means if we were going to rate the trade, I would look at this being maybe a B minus. Okay. Edges are in the middle. Okay, so price is in the middle of the edges. So basically we're in the middle. They tell you don't diddle in the middle. 9 EMA above on the weekly. So this is important for anybody that's thinking about a swing trade on UNH. The 9 EMA, we're above that on the weekly. Things are looking pretty good. So the follow through is, can we hold above that 9? The plan, if this, then that scenario or equation, if price holds the weekly 9 EMA, stay long. My targets are 350 to 361 and a half. Okay. As far as options go, equity is always an option. Naked directional, 35 to 40 delta. It says Delata. I think that's kind of funny. We pointed that out yesterday. I need to change that, right? It sounds like some sort of ice cream, like a gelato or something. Makes it sound sexy, I think. Moving on down, you can see call debit spreads, 350 by 360 if you like debit spreads, plus 7 days out at a minimum. Okay. All right, and then put debit spreads, not not applicable right now. But if you did like it to the downside, I would be targeting somewhere around 338 to 335. Okay, so that's UNH. Let's go ahead and look at RIOT. All right, so here's RIOT. There's a little bit of formation forming here, and I have some notes as well. Let's go ahead and read those notes. Scanner, not applicable. Overall trend, short-term bullish. Edges at the upper edge, you can see we're above these edges. Okay, we're not extended too much. We actually came back, and let me go ahead and just zoom in really quick for you. Might be hard for you to see. So price left here, it did come back and test. That's what I like to see. It is holding the 9 EMA on a 4H, but let me get to my notes here, and then we'll get back to the chart. So edges at upper edge support, candle formation, 4H consolidation, upper bull range, 9 EMA, we're holding on the 4H, so 4 hour. The plan, if this then that. If price breaks above the flag, look for a possible breakout into $11.40. Options, equity of course, naked directional, 35-40 deltas, and on the call debit spreads, 8 to 10 several weeks out. So what am I looking at? Let's go ahead and zoom in here to get a clearer picture. Okay. This one, there's not an exact reference point, but if you want to, you can set your alert. What I like to do is you can use this as a trend line. You could have it here and go across, but if you notice, it's not touching this wick. If you want, you could bring that trend line down so that you're touching all lines here. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to, from this point, okay, we're going to do this. So as long as price is in here, just leave it alone. What I'm looking for is for it to get tight, and then once it breaks here, then I'm looking for that breakout trade. This is not my go-to type of trade. The bigger focus for me is that we're actually holding the trendy edge. So if this, then that scenario, what I like is if 77.81 holds, I'm looking for 11.42. Shorter term would be this wick up here, looking for about $9.30. Okay. All right, so that's RIOT. Again, targets up here, I really want 7.81 to hold. All right. All right, let's go ahead and move out of there. And we are going to look at some of these bigger names like Amazon. You know, market is down a little bit, but now here's Amazon. I have brought this up in the room several times. Amazon has been in its own world as of lately. And the cool thing is we have some really good levels. We did close our position yesterday. I closed my position, I should say. But the bigger picture, what I've been looking at is this Bezos line, and I thought that was pretty funny. It held the whole time, and I gave that to you about 3 weeks ago or so. All right, and as far as the trendy setup is concerned, as long as price was between this red and green arrows, we were looking for price to move up into the lines that I provided. Those lines that I provided, we came very close yesterday, and that's why I went ahead and closed. But as of right now, any target that I have is resistance until it's not. So as you can see, this 3233 on a 4H candle, we could not hold over this level at all. So this is your main level for today. If 3233.05 can hold on a 4H candle, the probabilities increase that we're going to see 3257 and 3319. Now I like the AC/DC approach as this. As long as 3202 can hold, I'm looking for 3313. I like it on a higher time frame. So really what I mean at the end of the day is on a weekly, I would like to see the week candle continue to close over the levels that I just provided. Again, above 3202 by Friday, I would like to see that hold. Intraday trading, again, we need over 32.33. Depending on your risk tolerance, place your stops and so forth, trade to the upside. All right, so there's Amazon. And let's go ahead and get over here into Netflix. All right, Netflix, same thing here, AC/DC. You can see it actually worked out very nicely. Very close to the upper edge, but not quite. This was your target that I gave you at 510.25. Same thing. All of these FANG stocks, we talked about the rotation into FANG in our broad market analysis that I pushed out over the weekend. It's been spot on thus far. And what I'm looking for today is anything that's actually pushed up in the last day or so. Look for it to come inside. Place those alerts at yesterday's high and at about 40% of yesterday's range. Those are your two alerts. Do nothing while price is in the middle. If we break out to the upside and take out that high, most likely we're pushing up and testing upper levels that I've given you. Okay. So on Netflix, what I mean here, as long as we are going to hold 497.60, I'm looking for a price of 512.